This is the cheapest one-ton truck in America. It's a 1995 GMC 3500. And as you can see, it's cheap like that for a reason. Come on, look at it. We've got all kinds of dents, dings, missing paint, and a lot more mechanical problems that we're going to get into. But it has one redeeming factor, and that's the price. Now, the goal of this is to get this cheap truck and compete it in my local truck pull to see if this cheap truck can hang with the big boys. So first things first, what we need to do with this is to get it mechanically up to speed. We're going to see how far it can go. We're going to see if this cheap truck can compete against trucks that are maybe 5, 10, even 20 times the price. Can you get the job done with a cheap truck? Well, let's find out.
All right, so we're up in Hackensack, New Jersey. John and I are just off Route 4 here outside this plaza complex. We stopped and got a burrito. We're almost at the Department of Public Works, where we purchased a $366 GMC 3500. We think it might be the cheapest legally obtained truck in America through a credible auction site. I mean, obviously people give each other trucks for $1 all the time, but I always put a no thank you bid to these different things, and we'll see what materializes. But so anyway, the auction closed. I don't know, I guess it was a weird time of day. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. Guys are running around, they're working, whatever they're doing. So the auction closed 2 o'clock. There were 9 participants. Everybody was going up like 20 bucks a piece. It stopped at $366. It was unbelievable. My high bid was $700, and it didn't get anywhere near that. So after administrative fees, I mean, the administrative fees were almost more than the truck. $45.75 in administrative fees. Grand total, $411.75. It's a 1995 GMC 3500 full-size one-ton truck. No air conditioning. The only problem with it is it was a plow truck, and they cracked the frame. They found it. It was running and driving just fine. They brought it in for a preventive maintenance inspection, and they realized that the frame was cracked just over the driver's side upper control arm. So we're gonna etch it out, make a template, put a plate over it, patch weld it, done, back on the road. The overall condition of the truck, it is a public works truck. It's been used in service. Obviously it's nowhere near presentable, but we're gonna try and put it to a few tests. We would like to do that cheap truck shootout. Guys, if you're buying trucks for under 500 bucks, grab them, because the price of these things are just going up. Look at the price of cars. It's like 1%, less than 1% of what a truck sells for today. So, so you got to patch the frame, you got to etch something out, you got to make it work. Highly recommend it. Save yourself the money, put your money in your pocket. So we're gonna show you that you can buy a cheap car for sub $1,000 and you could be driving around. And we're gonna put it some guy's blowing his engine on Route 4. So we're gonna put it through a few trial and tribulation tests. Stay tuned, subscribe. Thanks for watching HonJazzz. So we're gonna tow it back with my Dodge, the Dodge I bought from a farm in upstate New York. I bought this car trailer for 500 bucks through a like auction site. I think it's gonna fit on there okay. It's probably above or near what the gross capacity for the trailer is, but we'll make it back.
When you buy a truck off Govdeals, you know what you're getting. It's represented fairly, but you don't always know if you're going to get a municipality that's easy to work with or nice to work with. This particular municipality was outstanding. One of the best I've ever had the pleasure of doing business with. They actually helped us load the truck onto the trailer, which was really nice. They didn't really have to do that. Most of them will not do that. They gave us a full book of records for the truck. Most of the time, they just say, here's the keys, here's the title, you know, get out of my hair. The mechanic there, you could tell he really cared about this truck. Again, it's got a fair amount of, you know, dents and dings. That's just what it was. It was a plow truck, it was a work truck. But he took pride in getting this thing running well, keeping it maintained, keeping it to the record book in terms of all the service intervals. It's right there in the book. He did a great job. Super thankful for that. And when we started this up for the first time, it ran incredibly well. I mean, it sounded so good I wanted to shake the guy's hand. You know, that's how it was when we first started this thing up. So you could really tell that, again, he took a lot of pride in this truck. It's not just a work truck for him, it was his vehicle that he was in charge of. And you could tell that he had a high level of conscientiousness and detail surrounding the type of work that he was doing. After that, we loaded up, we shook hands, and we were on our way. So it was time for us to head down the New Jersey Turnpike. We headed southbound on the New Jersey Turnpike through a stretch of the road that I'm kind of partial to. There's a lot to look at. If you're interested in, you know, different types of industry or understanding what New Jersey has to offer, you'll see everything from warehouses to refineries to shipping, the Newark airport, which is one of the busiest airports in the world. Again, it's all in this dense corridor, which I find really fascinating. I'm also connected to the area because my grandfather used to work at the oil refinery. He worked for Exxon, and he used to say, if the flame's lit when you go by, we're making oil. And every time I go by, the flame's lit. To me, it represents thousands of jobs. If you work at the oil refinery, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. It's funny, on our way home, we took a rest stop and we ran into the guys from A&W Maintenance, which is pretty funny. You know, when you're in New Jersey, when you're in different parts of the state, it can feel really crowded. It can feel like there's so many people around and, you know, you're never going to see people you know, but things like that happen where you'll be on the turnpike and then you'll pull in and you say, oh, there's my friend, there's my buddy. So A&W Maintenance, they're not a sponsor of this channel in a traditional sense, but they have helped us out in a lot of ways transporting our podcast truck. So if you've seen episodes of the podcast truck, they've helped us out with that, which is a huge help. So thank you for that.
How's it pulling?
Nice.
Pulls pretty good?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was the perfect setup, but we got it here.
Yeah. Looked okay, barely fit on the trailer.
Yeah.
But we got it there.
So we had to do a number of things mechanically to get this thing up to speed. So it had been treated well at the previous municipality, but you've got to remember, once the frame was cracked, it sat for probably, I'm going to guess, over a year. So, you know, whenever a vehicle sits, it's going to need something.
stealing the track. Let's see if I can make it fit. There you go. Let me turn the blower on, turn the headlights on. Wow, look at that. Right on the money.
That's where the frame damage is?
Yeah, it's on the other side. This side's fine. I'll show you. So what we got to cut out here is an access panel so that Tony can weld this. Cracks right there above the upper control arm. So what we're doing now is we're exposing what some may call a window of opportunity. Whatever's there, polish, and whatever's not there, work your way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, man, it's kind of a nice truck. Whatever's there, polish it. Whatever's not there, just work your way around. You know what I mean? Hey, it's one heavy truck, man. Look at that.
So once we had the weld prepped, the alternator changed, the battery changed, the oil changed, the front end greased, then it was time to take it over to the welding shop to get the frame repaired. All right, so now the truck pull was fast approaching. We got the truck back from the welding shop, literally like days before the truck pull, which was honestly amazing. We actually weren't sure if we were gonna make it in time, but just in time, we got the call that the truck was ready. We went right away to pick it up and drove it home. So as you can see, the work that was done, the weld looks great. It's going to hold. When you go to these truck pulls, there's all these different classes. There's high-end stuff. If you watch some of the other videos, we cover some of this, you know, crazy high horsepower diesel classes. There's two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, whatever. So because we were competing in what's called a work stock class, again, gas, four-wheel drive, work stock, there are a number of rules that go along with that. For example, you can't have an aftermarket exhaust. You can't have an extreme aftermarket intake. You can't have crazy tires or a big lift. It really is supposed to appear like a work truck and be usable as a work truck. Really, the idea of this class is that you take your work truck to the truck pull and see how it does, which is exactly what we did. We did also have to make a few additional changes to make sure that we were going to pass our tech inspection. So a couple of those things include you need a fire extinguisher handy within reach. You need a helmet that's approved. You also have to have your floorboards fixed. So, you know, we had a hole in the floorboard.
So part of the pulling requirement is that there can be no holes in the floor. So John and I took it upon ourselves to source this contractor's worksite designation, and we're going to use that to patch a hole in the floor. So lo and behold, we start pulling the carpet up and we realized the first mechanic already patched a hole with the contractor's designation sign. I think that one says no U-turn. So anyway, he already beat us to it, but we're gonna find a little nook underneath the carpet where we're gonna be able to slide this right under it, and it's gonna look like it came right off the showroom floor. Give me a hammer.
We had to just patch it with an old sign. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can't have a hole in the floor to compete. They'll actually tell you to leave if you have a hole in the floor. The other thing we had to do was actually run chains underneath, and that's actually to protect your drive shaft in case there is some sort of catastrophic failure during the pull. Your drive shaft wouldn't then fly out and maybe potentially hurt spectators. And we had to ensure that our hitch was properly installed, properly lubricated, and just in good working order so that wouldn't pull out. It's happened before at these truck pulls where the hitch will pull out from the bumper or something crazy happens. You want to do your best to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen to you. We lubricated the hitch, made sure that's all functional. The other thing we did was we secured the door hinges, made sure that was opening and closing properly. And then we added a few other final touches to really get this truck totally ready for the pull.
So I'm about to add the American flag to the other side. This is the passenger side of the truck. But before I do so, I just want to shout out 3C Signs in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They specialize in vinyl, decals, anything you need for the side of your truck, just like flags. Like this, it's a family-owned business, and we appreciate that. So here we go. You want to make sure you have a clean surface.
Next up was time to really see what this truck can do. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a cakewalk with this truck. We got our engine running good. We've got our four-wheel drive working perfectly. We've got a 3500. I'm thinking we were going to take the cake with this. Well, things kind of went downhill when I got there, actually, because I saw the competition and, well, let's just say they weren't quite work stock. So I think what happened was not enough people came to run a stock truck like this, and so they bumped us up into more of a street unlimited or some kind of a class that was above this that included, you know, modifications and stuff. Because the truck that ran before me was a V10 Dodge that just, you could feel it in your chest. I mean, there's no way that truck was stock, so it is what it is. Now, the people at this event we were at, they loved it. When they saw this thing, when it came up to tech inspection, they were laughing, they were smiling. They don't get to see this stuff that often. You know, a lot of people want to bring their truck that they built, which is cool. Not every day you see a guy bringing a 95 GMC 3500 work truck that's totally bone stock.
This is what street gas is all about, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the real truck.
Yeah. We had one little snafu, and that is when the guy looking at my hitch, he goes, "Oh, you know, I see you have your receiver, but where's your hitch? What's going on? You know, you need a specific kind of donut style hitch," which I didn't have. And I don't know, I thought they would have a communal set going around or whatever, but apparently everybody's got their own hitch. So that was my fault. But anyway, one of the other farmers actually ended up loaning me his, which was very nice of him. Otherwise, if I couldn't find a hitch at that point, all of our work would have been basically pointless, and I would have had to go home. I wouldn't have been able to pull it all. It's my turn next in line. I see a guy with the V10. He goes, he pulls it. He does an incredible job. He's going, I see him go all the way down the track. And I'm just thinking, all right, well, I'm just going to compete. You know, I'm just going to have fun. So then the pulling sled comes back to the start. I hit up there. I back it up. They lock me in, and they just say, go.
Go ahead, Ray. Yep. That's it. 230 at 6.5 miles an hour. Very nice.
Not a bad pull.
Huh?
What was the number?
At the end, we made it to 230 feet, and I could hear the crowd. You know, they were laughing, they were clapping. I don't know if everybody else got that exact treatment, because this is an underdog. You know, if people look at this, they see I got my orange light on, we got the rough paint still. They know this is a stock truck competing with trucks that are way more powerful, people put, you know, more money into. Everybody loves an underdog story. People really got a kick out of this. When I went back to look at the standings on where I stood compared to everyone else in the class, I was dead last. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've never been happier to come in last place. This truck for $366 held its own. Even with my foot to the floor, we weren't going very fast, but I was doing my best to keep the traction and maintain a straight and narrow down the track. I wanted to be, you know, as straight as possible. I wanted to stick within those ruts that the other guy created. This is where guys get tripped up. They start doing this like left and right movement, and you wind up losing momentum and you wind up losing forward distance. You know, a big goal of mine was to just go straight forward and to just keep that momentum going. To be honest with you, I only thought I was going to pull maybe 100 feet, 110 feet. I look over, we're passing the 100-foot mark, and now I'm starting to smile. I'm saying, oh my gosh, we're actually moving. We're actually going. We're still going. We're going down track. Again, I'm probably doing 5-6 miles an hour. In my head, I feel like there's a lot going on, a lot to think about. The crowds go, I hear people laughing in the crowd. You know, they're having fun. Nobody takes their work truck to this thing. So then we're still going. I see the 200 go by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going past the 200. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a full pull in this thing. So we're going. Finally, it starts to bog. That was all it had. So I just, as soon as we started to slip at the end, I just let off. That was it. I ended up pulling a total of 230 feet, which I felt great about. I didn't really think I was going to get that far, especially compared to the other guys who had run before me. I'm thinking, no way, I'm not going to get anywhere near them. And especially with the track conditions. Sure, this truck is a little rough. We paid $366 for it. We put in some spit and polish here and there.
Whatever's there, polish it. whatever's not there, just work your way around. You know what I mean?
We were competitive in a $366 truck that we got from a state auction. To me, that's just what it's all about. I had a great time and it didn't cost us too much. To me, that was a huge win in my book. This was the one pulling test. I'm curious, what else do you want to see? How else should we test this truck? Again, it's a $366 truck, but it's got a lot in it, and it's got a lot of heart. It's got a great motor, it's got a great transmission, it runs good, and it's capable. I believe this thing could go pound for pound, dollar for dollar against a lot of modern trucks today. So let us know how else we should test it. I'm curious what you guys think, and we'll try to make it happen. So you'll see in the link below, I actually have a commemorative t-shirt commemorating this truck, this build, this video, pulling 230 feet at my local 4-H fair. Grab yourself a t-shirt while they're around. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.